go. Okay, we have another one of these on Monday too, so I'll make sure to record that one. All righty. That was a great question. Thanks for pointing that out, Miss Jan. There we go. All righty. So going back to arrange pages, this is awesome for organizing your book. So what happened when we laid things out using the batch was it put things in based off of the category name, and then it filled the recipes in. But sometimes, for example, I don't want dinner going in before desserts. I want I'm sorry, I don't want breakfast going in before dinner. And so if I wanted to move that, all I would have to do is grab the section divider, move it to where I want it in the book, and hit auto arrange. What that's going to do is it's going to pull the recipes that belong to breakfast so that I'm not having to manually pull all of those there. And so again, I don't want appetizers after dessert. That just feels weird to me. So I'm going to pull it up, hit auto arrange, and it's going to put them in there alphabetical. So you see buffalo chicken, cream cheese, little smokies, queso. And so that's a great way to get your book organized pretty quickly. All righty. Any questions regarding any of those things? We've got we just covered themes. How do I delete a recipe entirely? Okay, so if you have a recipe that you're wanting to delete, first you want to make sure it's removed. I think I had one in here that I actually wanted to delete, so this is a perfect question. Let's see. Okay, it's all right. We'll delete one because we can always edit. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that it's not in your book. So if I wanted to delete the buffalo chicken dip, I could delete that, and to permanently delete it, to remove it fully, you could I can't delete that one. You can you click it in the recipe box, you can hit delete recipe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You add miscellaneous. Okay, so let's see. Did you add miscellaneous page 10, or did that come up automatically? I don't know. Let's go take a look real quick. On auto arranges. These are the page where they are. So this is page 1, 2, just showing where it's at. I think that's what you were seeing is the page numbers. All righty. All right. Any more questions regarding auto arrange, themes, cover design, table of contents? No? All righty.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regarding the table of contents, for some reason, nothing is in order. Everything, when I go to the pages, it's not like my desserts are not under desserts. Does that mean that I've spelled something incorrectly?
But let's see, it's not under desserts.
Yeah, like desserts is under dinner, and
Okay,
it's just
so what's happened is if you go to those recipes, the category is probably off. Check the category of your recipes and make sure that they say desserts.
okay. Okay.
Yep, that should be an easy fix. Fantastic.
Okay.
All right. Any other? Will our book automatically provide the correct number of pages for my recipes? Yes, the book does generate. Oh, are we good? Yeah. The book does create the page numbers for you automatically. Some people, if you're ordering, we'll get to this when we talk about binding styles, but I'll mention it now. If you're ordering a binder, one thing that I note is you will want to consider hiding, and you can come here and go to page numbers, hide the numbers, because if you want to add recipes later, which is the great benefit of the binder, you might want to slip them in based off the categories. So you can simply just hide the page numbers, and then you don't have to worry about that. So that's one quick thing to note. All righty. We'll keep going. All right, so let's talk about layouts. Let's talk about recipes, uploading images, and the layouts. So we kind of select the layout at the beginning, which was great. But for example, this one does, for me, doesn't look the greatest. It's a smaller recipe, and so I want it to. I'm not loving this layout. You can always change your layout. So the way you do that is flip through, hit this pencil edit icon, you can do lots of things here. You can change your layout, which I could add a picture as well. I'm going to select one with a photo, but there's lots of different layouts. If I needed to edit the recipe, I noticed I misspelled something, or I need to change the category, I can edit that here. And if I wanted to change anything as far as the design, I could do that as well. Again, remember, all pages updates it for the whole book, which is what you want to do, unless it's just like you're trying to get that page to fit in a situation with a really long recipe, then you would go to this page only. All right, we'll hit save. That'll update the layout. Oh, I got a warning. You'll see missing picture because I picked the layout with a photo. So I need to add a photo to that. But the great thing is, for this recipe, I could add a quick, a fun family photo, which would be nice. But I could also, again, we have these stock photos, which are fantastic. It'll suggest some based off of the smokies. And you can search different terms to kind of find images that match. So I love to do images that have ingredients of the food. That looks really nice, especially if you don't have images. But another fun thing is also to use family photos. I think that's what I'm going to do in this situation. Is I'll insert a couple family photos. This is one from us at Thanksgiving. This is a food we eat at Thanksgiving, so that's a perfect photo for that page. Alrighty, so I want to flip through the book and take a look and make sure that I'm not getting any warnings. If I do have warnings, I want to address those. You'll see a little yellow box. You'll click it and it'll tell you exactly what's wrong. Let's see, I've got some questions. Let's see. All right. In my cookbook, there are a lot of white space if I do one recipe per page. However, if I choose chew and try to combine some of the shorter ones, one paragraph instead of numbers. Yes, okay. So on the this was Miss Sarah. All right, Miss Sarah. So yes, on the layouts for the 2 recipes, it doesn't include numbers. But for the white space, a couple ideas of what you could do is to pick one of the, like I just did, that was a small recipe that I had here. And so what I could do is, excuse me, add a family photo, add a stock photo so I can fill in some of that white space. And then for the other ones, the smaller ones were 2. When it's a small, like this would be a perfect one. I could probably do the 2 of these together on one and it would be totally fine. Does that make sense? And I'll show you, let me show you how to do that really quickly. So if I wanted to turn this into 2 recipes per page, Little Smokies, I'm just going to go ahead and delete it out of the book because I'm about to add it back in. I'm going to come back to this one. Excuse me, hit edit, layout, 2 recipes. There we go. And the second one, just click existing and I can hit Little Smokies. Here we go. And save. Now I've got 2 recipes per page, and for those, the smaller ones, it does look really nice. I'm like that, and so yeah, just a quick idea. All right. I mean on the on the individual recipe. So you're wanting step numbers. Let me show you that. Depending on the layout is if you get step numbers or not. So you'll see here, I've selected one with step numbers. You can also edit the size of these if you come to the page number, not page number, step number. There we go. Direction, step number. You can hide this as well. If you wanted to be consistent through your book and not have step numbers, you can hide the step number and it just gives you the break. But there are quite a few recipe layouts that include this. There's 2. There's this one and there's this one here. There are 3. I knew there was a third one. There it is. It has a little small picture. It's very cute. Let's grab a picture and I'll show you. There we go. Alrighty. Any other questions regarding layout that I can answer? Okay.
Quick question. Can you hear me?
I can.
I think I missed the step if I want to make sure that the font is the same throughout the book.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
let's talk about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, you could edit just any recipe page as long as all the pages are set to all, to all pages. And I could edit. So I want to go this to Sacramento. That's what I did on the front. It'll update all the recipe pages. So you'll want to flip through, for example, the title page was slightly different than the recipe page, but this will update all the recipe page headers there. And I'll hit save and you'll see, okay, now here and here it's been updated. And sometimes it's updated throughout the entire book. For example, I don't love it when these direction numbers are too big. I like them to be closer to the number. And so I can make that smaller, have it selected to all pages. I'm going to also make it for Sacramento. Excuse me. And you'll see that it updates throughout the book as well. Does that make sense?
How do I get a block of family photos to be able to put into the recipe book? Can I get them from my iPhone, or have I got to go from my laptop to Picasa?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do, you can, if you wanted to log in on your phone, you could pull them from your phone in the browser. That's super easy to do. You could also have them on your computer. I'll upload one to show you. Let's do a photo page.
I don't have them on my laptop. I have them in my phone, but I'm using my laptop when I'm doing the cookbook.
Do you have a MacBook or do you have a different type of laptop?
No, an IBM.
Okay. So a few options from getting from your phone. You could log into your account on your phone and upload the images that way, like log into the browser and you could sign in and upload the images. It's,
Okay. Is that the easiest?
To me, that would be the easiest. Yes, ma'am. Another option is you could do you upload your images to anything like Dropbox or anything else like that? Or they're just on your phone? Okay. Add blank pages to the book. Great idea. Sample books. I can show you guys a really great place to go look for that. So we do have a blank page. If you go to after and if you go to extras, this is a blank page here and it's perfect. And includes, so you can write something in the future. I like to add them at the end of each section and a couple at the back of the book. And they're really great to kind of fill in if you want to add some space, add some additional pages to the book as well. There's also an option for you to add bulk. You can just add them to the end of the book if you'd like, and it'll add, however many pages that you want to the back of the book. So, alrighty. So we've talked about layouts and we've talked about uploading images. Any other questions as far as design? The section dividers are really fun to add an image to if you go to layout. I like to do the really big image personally, picture. And these are perfect. Stock photography is fantastic for the desserts and baking, but also family photos can be really fun as well to fill in here and just kind of add that personal touch.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
absolutely. I can hear you.
I'm having trouble with the cover.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be creative on it.
Yeah.
And so I've created a page in Canva with pictures of my 3 children young and then pictures of them now with a message in the middle. I can't get the sizing right.
Okay.
Is there a size that, like, if I create it in Canva, because I'm using a background, that I use to make this work?
Got it. 8 by 10 typically works, but there are some variations based off of the book. What binding style are you making?
I think I want to do the soft cover with the spiral bind.
Okay.
What's that one called?
Soft cover wire.
Yeah.
Let me do me a favor, Sarah. I'm gonna write your name down and have our I know we have the exact dimensions. I don't know them right offhand, but I'll have our support team email that to you after the call.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Can-
Awesome.
Can I ask
Can I
one
ask
more question?
No?
Sure, go ahead.
What is the, and this might be for everybody too, once the book is done and we send it to you, what's your turnaround time?
We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
can I ask
Don't worry.
can I ask a question while we're on the photos?
Sure, of course.
So when I go to the photo page, it looks like it will allow you to put one photo or
Yes, ma'am.
two. If I have 4 photos, can I get those on one page?
Right now there's you'll need to make a collage to do that. And there's a few of online resources. Canva is free that you can make one and upload it to make a collage, as well as let's see. I'll have
there-
Miss Val, I'm writing your name down as well.
Yeah,
I will email
authors
you
in the
one
book, and
and you can make a collage and you'll download it as one image and then you'll upload it. Does that make sense?
I have no idea how to make a collage. So
You can
there are 4
make it-
authors, and so I wanted a photograph of all 4 authors.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So we'll need to make a collage. What I can do is I'll have a custom video for you and show you exactly how to do it and
Okay, great.
export this
Thank
one
you.
image. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem. All righty. Any other questions around the images, uploading?
Yes. Can while you're sending that to that nice young lady that was just speaking, would you mind sending that to me as well? The instructions to doing the collage.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, who
Thank
asked that question so I could jot your name down?
And I have one more question about uploading photos.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have had no problem uploading any of the stock photos, which are great. And 3 of the authors, I've been able to upload from my computer
Mm-hmm.
into the program. The
Right.
last photo, the 4th photo, I'm not able to upload it. What happens is when I choose photo page, I choose, you know, upload the photo, and then you have to go to choose file.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I hit choose file, normally it'll send over to my desktop and I can choose the file. It's not doing that. It's just like it's stuck.
Okay. So you're going to upload image. Let's try to walk through it together really quickly.
I
Whoops.
go to photo page.
So you go to picture, you hit
Right. Add photo,
from computer,
computer,
choose file.
And that's where the problem is. When I hit choose file,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting my desktop up.
Hmm.
What I did before, I had no
What you did
problem to
before.
the very end.
Okay. So do me a favor. Do you know how to take a screenshot on your phone, on your computer?
I can.
Okay. Will you take a screenshot of exactly what you're seeing and send it to support at Create My Cookbook, and we'll help you get that resolved.
So there's nothing really to see. It's the choose file box.
Uh-huh.
Does not, it'll blue and then it goes away. So I'm not sure how I would send you a picture
Got it.
because it just, it comes up, I hit it, it goes away.
All right. Well, Ms. Val, stay on with me.
It goes back to white. It just
Okay.
goes back to white.
We'll take a look at it. Just stay on with us. Let's get through everybody else and
All
we'll
right.
come back to
All
that
right.
and we'll get it.
Thank you.
We'll get you solved. Don't worry. We'll get it
Thank
taken
you.
care of. All right. Check real quick on chat. Collage steps. That was Diane. Got it. All righty. Thank you. All right. So we got our book design. Now let's talk about the fun part. This is probably the part where everyone has lots of questions. Generating proofs. Let's talk about binding styles, paper types, and shipping. So it's important before you order your book to make sure I've got your cover. We're good. To generate your proofs. You'll come here to the top preview and order. You'll select the binding styles that you want. So let's talk about the binding styles right now. So we have a few options. We have soft cover wire. We have, which is the great thing about it is it does lie flat. We have the ring binder. I love this one. It's hardcover. It's gorgeous. Let me grab some images of this for you guys. So the hardback wire, it's gorgeous. It lays flat. It has the ring. It's personally my favorite binding style. And if we do have a promotion on it right now. If you order 5 or more, you get 15% off. I realized that a lot of you are finishing up your cookbook. Actually, right before this call, I did get permission that if you're on this call, we're extending it for you one more day because we realize you're finishing up your book. But yeah, this is my favorite binding style. The soft cover wire is great as well because it does lie flat. We also have the soft cover perfect brown. This is a beautiful book. And it's soft cover, and it just looks like something you would get out of a bookstore. The other one is the hardback case bound, another classic. This is it's hardcover. Let's see, I brought one. Actually brought a couple for you. This is my own family cookbook. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not. Let me stop sharing. Can you guys see? Oh, I have this virtual background because I'm working in my basement. But it's this is not gonna work. Oh my goodness. Let's see. But it's fantastic. It's really great. It lays flat. It has all the things. All right, guys, you just have to look at my terrible basement. I'm gonna just forewarn you. I live in New Orleans. If you live in this area, you know basements are ugly because they're like 150 years old. So I'm gonna do it, but turn my camera off or my background off. Oh! Here we go. How do we do that? I don't want to blur my background. I'm gonna choose none. There it is. All right, here guys. We also don't have closets because all these houses were built when they had to like tax by room, so they're close. All right, guys. So this one is awesome. This is the binder. I did the heirloom for my mother-in-law. Love this book. I removed the page numbers as well. So every year we kind of add to this book. It's kind of I think we're sitting at least 100 pages in this book that we've kind of built over the years. So this is a really great one. My mom.
That's the hardback binder.
That's the binder.
Okay, so that's the hardback binder. Okay, yes. I might change my mind.
Yeah, I love that one. So hardback wire, you'll see that. This is what I did. This is my mom's cookbook, Nana's cookbook that I did a year ago. I love it. It lays flat, so it's awesome when she is cooking. She can lay it out on the counter. The special thing that I did for her is I did do really large print. She really struggles seeing, so everything's really big. I think we could see it from space if we wanted to. So yeah, that's the hardback wire. That's I'm stuck between the binder and the hardback wire. They're both great.
I'm afraid, excuse me, I'm afraid I actually have to cut out. I sent a note. I'd be able to see the video call to finish up. I'm so sorry. I have another meeting.
Yeah, I'll email it to you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This has been wonderful. Pleasure to meet you all.
You as well.
Okay.
So we have the hardback case bound. This is awesome. It looks to me it's like the books that you would get out of a bookstore. They're fantastic. So I love these. These are great for a coffee table book, something that's going to have lots of images. And this book is perfect for that. We have soft cover perfect bound, which is fantastic. I actually I loaned out my soft cover wire and I don't have it with me, but that one is similar to the soft cover perfect bound, just that it has the wire that goes through it, and I'll show you guys the image. Let me share my screen. There we go. Oops. Soft cover wire. There we go. It has the wire that goes through it so that it can lay flat. and it has a spine. It does have a spine as well. Let's see, this is probably the best image right here of the full layout of the book. So that's a
But
fun one as well.
You
Any
can't,
questions on binding style? I'll talk about papers too.
I have a question.
Sure.
You can't add to which one can you add to?
The binder.
Okay, so I was more thinking about the hardcover, but now I like the binder. I want to do a book for each of my kids and my grandsons as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if I should do where they can add to it or just do the one with pictures of our grandmother and everyone else. I don't know.
So one thing you could do, think about if you want to do the hardback wire is you can add the blank recipe pages in the back. That way, if they wanted to add more.
Okay.
And you could also, I have this, you come back and make edits to your book and work on it in the future. It doesn't, once you're finished, it doesn't have to be finished. I mean, we're still always making recipes in my house. So you
Okay.
can add to the book and order another copy. But as far as the book that you would have, you just order single pages is the ring binder.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm going to order the cookery books from all my grandchildren.
Oh, lovely.
Can I, and I think I'm going to go with the soft binder because of how many. Can I order an e-cookbook at the same time, or do I
Yes.
have to order those in quantity?
You can order them standalone, or you can order them, as an add-on. With the add-on, it's $2.95. With the standalone, it's $9.95, depending on how many you order. With the e-cookbook is great. There's an app. The app is fantastic because you can search not only by recipe name, but you can also search by ingredient. So that's one thing I use quite a bit personally for all my recipes, just when I'm grocery shopping. What does that have in it? Or like, if I'm trying to
Well,
think of
actually, I travel a lot. So for
Yeah.
myself, I can take all my recipes wherever I go in my phone. Okay,
Exactly.
thank you.
It's so very nice. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's talk about paper types. There are 3 paper offerings that we have. And I'll share my screen as well so that you can see. So the standard paper is a matte page, and I mean it's fantastic. So the next paper is the premium. This is great for books with images. This is a 100-pound gloss. The standard is a 70-pound matte. So if you have a book with a lot of images, I do suggest the premium. It really just, the gloss makes the images look stunning. And the third option is the Write in the Rain. This has a matte finish, but it's water resistant, spill resistant. It's fantastic. And so this paper, it's funny. I'll tell you guys a funny story where I had to really put my foot in my mouth once. When the paper, it does look like the standard paper. So when it comes in, it's a matte finish and it looks like normal paper. So much so that when we got our samples, when we were testing it, we called and we were like, hey, you guys sent us the wrong paper. This is just regular paper. And they were like, no, ma'am, throw some water on it. And I did. And sure enough, it's the Write in the Rain. So if you get your book and you're like, I think this is standard, throw some water on it. If you can wipe it up and it doesn't leave it wipes right off, you got the Write in the Rain. So it's perfect for if you're going to have this book in the kitchen quite a bit, if you're going to be cooking with it, if you have messy children, the Write in the Rain paper is my favorite, just because it has that spill resistance, water resistance to it.
Just a funny story. My granddaughters love my cookbooks that I use. And one of them said, Grandma, you could make soup with this book. There's so many stains.
I know. That's they do get messy, and I use the Write in the Rain for myself for no other reason than I'm just a messy person. And my husband's so neat. He does everything so tidy and he can keep things all, in their place. But no, I'm the creative one, I guess. But yeah, so you'll select your paper. Again, I love the Write in the Rain. So when you're generating your proofs, it's important. We'll go through this really quickly. Any questions on paper before before I go too far. Guys, we've almost finished the whole book in less than an hour and answering questions. Let's see, with the recording, I've got that. Is Matt regular? Yep, we talked about that. So Diane, when you submit a recipe and add a recipe that you're warranting, you're telling us that it's your recipe, it's your own recipe, and that you are giving us we have the right to print it because you're giving us that permission. So it's important that the recipe be yours. And so I would say make sure make the recipe. You can always, I'm sure you can make recipes your own from there. Anyway, I haven't received recipes back in my book. Okay, Charlene, this is a great question. Your recipes are in your recipe box and we don't automatically add them to your book. So just go up to the top here and click recipe box, and that's where your recipes are for your We Type It. All right, talk about the e-cookbooks. E-cookbooks are great. You can purchase them at add-on or standalone. There is an app that you can download. And from the app, you'll see the book. You can flip through it just kind of like you would a Kindle. You can also search by the name of the recipe. You can search by ingredient. And so that makes super functional. If you had multiple cookbooks, for example, I have yes, one code per person. And they could also download a PDF version for their computer if they wanted it on their desktop. But it's one code per person. They'll get access to the app. They'll get the PDF version for their desktop, or they can send it to their Kindle as well. And the e-cookbook. That's how you do that, Pam. Yep. Okay. Any other questions on paper, books, binding styles? So we type it.
I have a question. The We
Go ahead.
Type It, I have several that I purchased a while ago. They never expire, do they?
The credits.
Yes, the
They
credits.
should still be in your account. Yep. You can still
Okay.
use those. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like to have those credits, especially when we do that 50% off We Type It promo every once in a while. Because if I add write new recipes down, I'll jot them down and just snap a picture and let somebody else type them for me. So I
Right.
don't have to. So
Right.
fantastic. I know We Type It is. Who's used the new app? Anybody here? Anyone?
The new app?
Yeah, there's the We Type It app.
No.
Oh, well, you should.
Oh.
So give that a try. Yeah. All right. So let's go we're coming up on our hour, and I want to make sure we finish this book, and then I'll have my little 3-year-old gets home at 4, so I'll have to leave. I'll have a hard stop in at that 4 o'clock hour, but I want to make sure we get through this book and answer any more questions that I have for you guys. So once you've generated your contents, super important is to make sure you download your contents and look at them, ideally in Adobe. Things that you're looking for, and you can download them here and upload them in Adobe to make sure you're looking for things like are they running off of especially the contents? Are things running off of the page? Again, you can download it and open it in Adobe to look through, make sure all of you don't have any issues. Scroll through the book. And if you have anything that you need to fix, make sure you go into the designer and fix it, and then regenerate the proofs. These are the files that we're printing from. So what shows here is what's going to print. If there are things falling off the page, they're going to be cut off when they print the book. So make sure you scroll through, take a look at this, make sure everything is the way that you want it, and and make those edits as needed. As far as your your cover, what's really important, a couple things that I want to note. Make sure that if you wanted it, like for example here, I might want to go in and make my spine like a navy or like a blue, or I could leave it white. But for me, I would say, hey, let me go change the color of the spine. Another thing is to make sure your image is coming all the way to the edge. This purple area is the bleed. And so when they cut it, you don't want to have like a little tiny white strip. So here, between here and here, you don't want anything important. You don't want words, you don't want faces, you don't want anything that would be upset. But you do want to have the image come all the way to the edge so that there's a little bit of space for when they cut it, because it could be up, give a little room for the print. So yeah, make sure that you don't have any white space here. And make sure, that your words, like for example, I'm noticing I didn't update the font on the back of my book. So I might want to go in and change that. Again, this is how the way it looks is how it prints. So I could go in, all I have to do is hit cancel, and I can go in and make those edits. A quick little note. I like to have, when I'm reviewing my proofs, I like to give myself just jot myself down a few notes and say, hey, here are the things I want to go back and look at, and then generate my proofs ready to print. As far as the big question I'm sure that everyone has, when am I going to get my book? How long does it take? So the answer is, as all things in life, it depends. But if you go to the shipping we can get, it will depend on the type of binding style that you choose. We have those are the business days there. Just do note that there are business days, the weekends don't count. So depending on the binding style, and then you'll want to add the shipping method that you choose. And so we have both USPS offerings and UPS shippings as well. And so you add those two together and you can kind of, get an estimate of when you need to place your order. As you saw today, building the book can be relatively quickly. That's not an issue. Even if you started today, you could finish a book in time to order. It's just making sure that you take into consideration your binding styles and your ship method. Any questions as far as that?
I have another question. I am nervous about printing all of my books at one time because I think I might screw up.
Yeah.
Is there any way that someone can look at the book if I have questions before sending it for print?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So there is an option when you go to generate your proofs called We Review It. It's fantastic.
Okay.
One of our someone from our staff who does this, and it's just amazing. She will take a look at your book. She'll look at, she's not going to check for a proofreading. She's not going to tell you if something is misspelled, but what she will do is say, hey, if something's running off the page, or like the cover, she'll even give suggestions like, I would suggest going with a little bit darker of a font here. This layout really doesn't work because it's kind of squishing everything. I would suggest changing it, and she'll make you a custom video walking you through that. So once you reviewed the proofs, excuse me, you'll see it pop up here. It's We Review It. You could do that. It depends on the size of your book. Another idea, and something we strongly encourage for large orders, is to place a proof order one copy.
Yes.
And so that you can physically look at it and then, order the rest of your books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Any other questions? Does anybody have? I've got, again, I have exactly half an hour. We've got our book. We'd be ready to order. So any
Thank you
questions?
very much. That was excellent.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh,
Goodbye.
All right, Miss
Bye,
Val,
everyone.
Miss Val, you stay here for just a second. Don't
All
leave.
right, thank
So I'm
you.
I
gonna-
have one more question for
Okay, if you have
you.
a question, stay on.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see you guys. All right, who's got Ms. Val, I'm gonna ask you to wait because I'm gonna have
Okay.
to have you share your screen. Who else has a question?
I do.
I have
All
one.
right, let's go.
My question quickly is, are you offering this class again?
We're going to do it on Monday. It's going to be exactly this. I'll make a new book, but very similar structure. Mhm.
Okay, will we get the Zoom invite? I want to do it again.
Of course.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I
course.
can't make Mondays, but I am not following a lot of things here.
Okay.
I am really struggling.
Okay.
Like even just changing the color on the back of the cookbook. I just can't seem to get the whole
I
thing.
didn't show that. So let me show you that really quickly. Because
I mean, there's many things, but that's just one of many.
Well, let me show you that one, and then we'll get everybody else. But if you want to do a color and not an image,
Mhm.
you'll come here to background color, and then you have the picker here, and then
Yeah, I did that and it didn't change the whole thing.
what part's not changing? Is it because of the spine? Are you having issues with the spine?
No, I have background color, background cover color. Oh, now it did it. Okay. I think maybe I had it on an image and not a color.
Okay.
Okay. I think I did it.
Fantastic. Do me a favor, Michelle, just stay on. Let me get through everyone else that's here, and I'll answer some more of your questions.
Okay.
Madeline, I see you have your hand raised. What can I help you with? Madeline, your voice, yeah, you're muted. If you don't mind hitting the mute at the
There we
bottom.
are. There.
There you
Now can you
are.
hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I asked in the chat, but I don't think you saw it. Do we still have ownership of our recipes after we've given you permission to print them?
Yeah.
They are still ours, not
Very
yours.
recipes. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you
We've
can't
given
print
permission.
off our recipes
We
without our
don't.
permission.
We only print the books when you ask us, and we don't share them with people. No, ma'am.
Right. And then if we use a recipe that is not ours, if I understood you correctly, we need to make it our own.
Yes, ma'am.
Rather than give copyright and say, can we say I've adapted this from a Cook's Illustrated cookbook, or no? Do you advise not?
So I can't answer that. What I can say is when you're telling us that you have that permission to use that recipe, so that
You
would
wouldn't have permission because you wouldn't have written and asked them. If you just took it and changed it,
yes,
you
ma'am.
don't have, do you have to say that?
When you're adding a recipe to our account, you're telling us that you have that permission to use it. So I can't answer that for you. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't,
It
because
doesn't.
if I've taken a recipe and I've changed 6 ingredients, but I started from theirs, I don't have to say
If
I
you change
adapted
6
this.
ingredients, that's your recipe. It's a brand new recipe.
Okay, that's what I didn't.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If I understand how to get my hand down, I'll do that, and otherwise you
That's
can
okay.
go
We
on.
just like having you in the corner.
Thanks.
Yes, okay. All right. Any other questions, Sarah?
Samples. So I just want to make sure on the hardback binder,
Mhm.
6 months from now, I can print 5 new recipes on single pages and then add them to that binder.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't have to get a whole new book. So then I can keep
Yeah.
adding to these kids' cookbooks. Okay.
Let me show you. So you'll see, I mean, I just open it up
Right.
and add the pages in.
And then I can edit like I'm doing on the thing and then just print those pages.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Any other questions?
Samples
Samples?
or
you
samples that we look at to get ideas.
Oh, yeah. So if you go to our Facebook, we actually post pictures all the time of people with permission. People will upload their images. So do you have Facebook by chance?
Yes.
Go on our Facebook and you'll see there, I mean, all of those are customers who've ordered books, and you can see their covers. There's even some layouts that are in there. Just skip straight to the photos and just scroll through, and that's where you can see quite a few of like true real people, different ideas based off of their cookbooks.
Hey, great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Any other questions?
Well, I have another question
Okay.
about permissions. So if we gave you our images and our recipes and cover, and you printed that all up, do you then ask us for permission before you post it on Facebook?
We wouldn't post it without your permission. Those people we've reached out and say, hey, is it okay if we share it? And they've
Okay,
given us
all right,
explicit
okay.
permission. Yes, ma'am.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd probably say yes, but who knows?
Hey, that's okay. We understand. We respect that.
Oh, and the last question, if we print up, I don't know, 10 or 15 of a certain kind, and we want to be able to add to the binder, say, for instance, like my very own children, I might want them to have a binder, but some other people who want a copy of my cookbook, and I don't want to involve myself in giving them copies of my new pages, can you print a different kind of book for those people?
Yeah, so there's a couple options that you could do. You could print different binding styles, or there's another really great thing that you can do as well. Let me share my screen and show you this. So you can have them purchase their own. Oops, I'm not sharing yet. Here we go. Okay, so you can have them purchase a copy of your book and share a link with them. And they can go purchase their own copy of the book as well.
But when I made my new pages in a new binder, I wouldn't have to send it to those people who had that book.
Right, they would have already ordered it.
Right, but right, and if I gave them that, it doesn't matter if they bought it or I gave it as a copy to
Doesn't
them.
matter. No, ma'am.
Right, got it. I got it. Thank you so
Okay,
much for your
of course.
patience. Appreciate
Of
it.
course, yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank you.
Of course. All righty. I'm gonna stay on
Thank
and help
you.
Miss Val. If anyone and I think Michelle, you stay as well. Anybody else, if you guys just want to sit and listen, that's fine. But any last minute questions? I've got Val.
Well, thank you, and I hope to get the invite for Monday so I can repeat it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. All right, Michelle. Hit me
Okay.
with your other questions, and then we'll get Val.
Okay, trial and error, I'm getting somewhere. This is not going to get completed this year. I am way too slow at this.
Yeah.
The trial and error is taking way too long. So,
When you say trial and error, what do you mean?
well, I mean, I just keep moving things around and trying to figure things out. It is just taking me a long time to figure it out. For right now, one of the things I can't figure out is how do I noticed your cookbook has the name of the cookbook and then written by you.
Uh-huh.
How do I get that on the
Okay,
front of
let me show you really quickly.
cookbook?
So we hit the edit icon, go here to the text, and you'll see that you have there's the title. You can do a subtitle. So if I wanted to do Gibson. And then the third line I could say and so now I'm going to have all three of those lines of text. If I wanted to move them around, I can do that as well. Go to the design and I can, kind of move them.
Yeah, mine didn't show up.
I wonder if you have it set to the same color as your background.
Oh, let me go back and see text. How would I know that? I filled in subtitle and third line and the spine text. Save that.
Do me a favor, share your screen for me if you're okay with it. And is that okay?
I'm on two different
Oh, I see.
screens. I'm using one iPad to Zoom and the other one to play around in my cookbook.
Got it.
So I can't. But it's not showing my second and third line at all.
Okay. I'll have to, that'll be a little bit more. I may have to get support involved in that.
Mhm.
Can you get a list of your questions together? And
Mhm.
I will have them make a custom, like a Loom video, and walk you through how to do all the little things that you're struggling with in your book.
Okay.
We'll get it done. Don't worry. I know it
Okay.
can feel overwhelming at time, but once you're done, it's like such a great feeling. Will you do me a favor? Would you be okay with, can you send me a direct message with your email in the chat, just to
Mhm.
with your email, and is it okay if I take a look at your book and share my screen? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do that. We'll see. Well,
Okay.
maybe it can help other people learn a few things.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put a hard stop at 3:50 so I can give Val a few minutes before I have to jet. Dan, you're asking about we review it. When you generate the proofs, you'll see it's, as far as cost, it depends on the size of your book. I think it starts at $9.94, and then it's a little bit per additional page. And as far as time, it's typically 1 business day for turnaround. Michelle, I'm going to send you an
It
email.
won't. Yeah. It
It's
won't.
okay,
It
don't
won't even.
stress.
It won't
We'll take a
let me
look at
right
it.
now.
We'll get answers. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
Okay. Right now, it won't even let me send you a chat.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry. I'll
Nope.
I have your name from the registration, and I'll have support follow up with you. Okay.
Okay.
We'll make sure we get there. Don't worry. Make sure you come Monday. Bring your
Okay.
questions. Okay.
I can't. I'm
We
out of
can't
country.
Monday.
I can't. I'm out of country.
Oh, well, I hope you have a wonderful trip.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump on with Miss Val, unless you're having
Okay.
an issue with upload image. I think I'm going to have her share her screen. So we'll go there.
Okay.
Val, is it
Thank
okay if
you.
you share your screen? Can you do that? Maybe.
I may be a little tech share screen. Okay.
To the bottom.
Yeah, bottom right.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm tapping on it. Nothing's happening. Let me try again. It didn't come up, did it?
It didn't come up. Is it just the one image that you're having a hard time with?
So, all right, so yes, it's just one photograph. And what's weird is I've had no problem
With everything else?
with everything else.
Well, do me a favor. Could you email that to support at Create My Cookbook, and maybe they'll look at the image and see what's going
So
on.
who do I email?
Support, SUPPORT, at createmycookbook.com, and they'll take a look.
I'm trying to remember that. Okay. Yeah, because I don't want to keep you because I know you've got a kid, you've got to pick them up. I have a couple of other, things, little snags that I hit, but I don't want to take up your time with them. But I did want to ask about I forget what it's called, but the premium service where someone's going to look over
Yeah.
everything. Can you
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me what they do, just real quickly, what they do extra, other than me just proofing it myself? What do they offer on that?
Right. So they're looking at your images, making sure that nothing is too low of like a DPI quality that's going to be blurry. They're looking at your
But I should be able to see that when I do the proof, right?
all of this you could do yourself. It's just if you wanted a second set of eyes. They're not going to do anything different. It's if you wanted, sometimes when you've looked at this project for such a long time, it's nice to have that second person take a look at it. They'll look and make sure that all of your texts are on the page, nothing's overflowing. They'll make sure your cover is not going to have any issues with like white strip if it wasn't filled in all the way. So that's what they'll do.
And do they do anything for this, the sections, you know, the dessert main, do they do anything to those pages?
They don't edit it. They don't. They will look at and make sure that, you know.
So are those pages just blank?
Oh,
'Cause I
yeah,
don't
you could
see
add
the-
images if you'd like. Do you want me to show you how to do that?
So I actually have a problem with one of, when I was first starting out and just
Mhm.
kind of playing around with it, I actually got one of my photos onto the dessert page and then it was like, well, I don't want that one. I'm not able to take it off.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck with it there. So I didn't really understand, I think how to maneuver around
Yeah,
those.
let's go take a look. I'm going to show you using mine, and I think it'll answer your question. So if I want to go to one of my section dividers, and I have an image here,
Okay.
I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to go to picture.
Uh-huh.
And so let's just pretend it was this image that you put on there, and I want to switch it. All I need to do is hit edit. And if I was wanting to switch it to a stock image, I could search those. Or if I wanted to change it to a different image in my account, I could do that here. And then,
So I just pick another picture.
yes, ma'am. If I wanted, if you're wanting to remove it altogether, you can go to design, click the image and say remove image. And that's just going to take it away altogether off
Okay,
the page.
I will try, play around with that, try that. Thank you.
Of course.
And then if someone, I'll contact support service to see how I can get 4 photos on a page. That's my other, oh, and the choose file to get that one last photograph.
Just email them that last image to take a look at.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Yes,
your
ma'am.
help.
Alrighty, guys. You'll see an email from us. We'll have one more cookbook camp on Monday. Help everyone finish up their cookbooks for the holidays. And thank you. It's been a great
All right,
group.
thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
ma'am. Of
All right,
course. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.